Hey guys, this is Joey Parish, and we are thinking today about why would you buy a Parish drum kit? There are so many kits on the market, different options, different finishes, colors, wood materials. There's a lot to choose from, and we genuinely believe that we are making the best drum acoustic instruments for the church and for a lot of other scenarios as well. But they really, really shine in the church. One of the reasons for that is that drums are loud. They've always been loud. They were created to be loud. Almost all of the offerings fit into a category. Maple shells, 45-degree edges, different finish options. Essentially, what color kit do you want from what brand do you like? And so there's all these drum kits. They're beautiful. They sound amazing. And we go to our retailers and say, I've got a church. We've got this much money. And they say, here's 10 kits that would be great for your church. And so we take a kit that was designed for anything and we try to plug it into a church. And church means a lot of different things. It could be a small room, maybe you're meeting in a ballroom or a school cafeteria, a lot of different environments. And so we take a off-the-shelf generic drum kit and we try to cram it into a church. And it may just not be the right fit at all. And so the alternatives to a big loud drum kit are get an enclosure, full shield, roof, back, air conditioner, all of those things. They are wildly expensive, $10,000 or more. They don't look the best. Some look better than others, but generally speaking, they are aesthetically displeasing. Nobody wants to have that big enclosure on the stage. Can't move it around, lots of reasons. It also muddies the audio. So if you have a bunch of mics inside of a tight box and then put a bunch of noise in there, everything is just murky. The bass drum is reflecting off the plexiglass, getting into the snare mic. The snare is getting into the tom mics. It's really hard to isolate and get individual sounds from each drum. And I also believe that drummers tend to play harder when they're in an enclosure. I've done this. You get in the enclosure, you're like, sweet, I'm good. I can just play like normal, play as loud as I want. I'm safe because I'm inside this enclosure, which only exasperates the volume and the muddiness in the room. So I feel like that's not a great option. It's expensive and it's ugly. Second option would be an electronic kit, and electronic kits have come a long way. They've got drums that look like real acoustic drums, but they've got electronics on them. The sounds have gotten better. The velocity sensors are much better, so you can be a little more dynamic, but it has no soul. You're playing this basically a set of practice pads. Now there's a volume knob, and so if volume is the only concern, I can see a few scenarios where it's like, man, there really is no option except electronic. But I would venture to assert that there even in those situations, there's an alternative solution. Electronic kits are also very expensive. When you get into the good audio quality ones, extra sensitive, look like real drums, you're in the $7,000 to $10,000 range. So that's not a great option either. What we do here at Parish, the instruments we build, the lens that we look through in crafting drums, cymbals, everything that we do is through the lens of the church. I started off playing drums in church when I was 14 years old. I've spent my whole life in churches, big and small, around the world. And every decision that I make, every choice that I make on lugs, bearing edges, wood materials, even the finish being a very aesthetically neutral brown color on this particular series, is to be a timeless aesthetic. 100 years from now, I want that drum to look great anywhere. And it blends with most church aesthetics. You can put it anywhere. But it's also the tone, wanting a very warm tone, a round tone. We've taken shells and edges and even head choices to the far end of dry. What I want is for you to be able to open a box, pull out a drum, and it be as close to the final sound that serves the church the most. Every time I travel, I go to a church, play somewhere, I go look at the kit. First thing I see is there's just gaff tape everywhere. There's gels, there's big fat snare drum rings, control. We have these drums that are musical and resonant, and then we've taken a bunch of extra steps to reduce all of that because it's not usable. And so I want to ship a drum that is close to dry, warm, round, less resonant, so that out of the box, you're already there. All that work's been done for you. I can just play. When I sit down at this kit, it doesn't matter what room I'm in, I can just play the drums. I'm not thinking about volume. I'm not wincing, waiting for the sound guy to come up and have a talk with me, or the lead singer or whoever, looking over his shoulder like, man, I can't do this. The drums are too loud. I don't have those conversations anymore. So I can just play. I'm able to worship, focus on the part, on the click, really enjoy the freedom that comes with being able to play. And we've helped hundreds of churches with these kits achieve those goals. All of that to say, the big box, big kit option has a place. We try to put it into the place of worship, and it may not be the best resource for that environment. Parish endeavors to create the right acoustic drum and cymbals, all percussion instruments, anything that leaves our shop, to foster an environment of worship, where I can hear my neighbor sing and they can hear me sing, and I can see my kids, knowing that the drums are not overpowering or a distraction or diminishing the experience for anyone in the room, front row or back. Please give us an opportunity to help cultivate your environment of worship.